looks like nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards, turn around, mysteries we have found in.
Good morning, Maureen. Good morning, Jenny. My goodness. Good morning, everyone in the entire universe. Welcome to the My Tarot Morning Reflection Daily Inventory. Chance to check in with the universe. All that wonderful stuff. I hope everybody had a good weekend. My Saturday, actually, I had a good Saturday. I was reading up at Brand Art Yoga. I was reading up at Bay. And it was pretty busy. Surprisingly busy. And it was just what I needed. It was nice to have that influx of people and the connection with reading with people. It's one of my small joys in life. But yesterday, it's funny. Haha. I talk about that listening to our papist, the high priestess. Several cards that remind us it's like when we don't listen to our inner voice, it's like that voice I often say with I knew it. Why didn't I listen to that? So yesterday, it's funny because I had gone someplace and I was like next in line and the person skipped me and I'm like, all right, so something is going on here. They skipped me to grab somebody else real quick. And I just knew it's like I should just not be here right now. I should just go ahead and take my business elsewhere and go someplace else. And I tell you what, I did not listen. And it's part of it is that when we let emotions get in the way of our intuition. So I was already a little bit heated, not really even that bad, but I felt it. And then I just ignored that voice at the back of my head. And it's just one of those things that was just like the perfect lesson for me. What happens when I just let just a little bit of emotion cloud my inner thoughts? And any other time I probably would have listened and not been impatient. But so it's just some of the things that we get from doing that meditation and listening. But man, it was a good example for me. So what are we even doing here? We're listening to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean. We're getting that reminder that when we hear that, we can take a breath. It's a reminder. We all should maybe have a reminder for a regular meditation, whether it's lighting a candle or ringing a bell. For me, it's, again, the cards are my trigger that says, it's time to let all that stuff go and take a breath. And then what do I do next? Well, personally, I check in with my feet. So where's my feet? Mine are flat on the floor and rolling my ankles. And then checking where our butts are. And I'm doing the kitty dance, getting nice and comfortable. And then the shoulders with the chest and the breath. And then the neck. So I saw I read for about 10 people, and 2 of those were couples. So there was a total of like 14 people yesterday. And, I try and get the sense and vibe of what's going on in the universe when I'm seeing that many people. And actually, it was very kind of positive. It's like everybody has issues in life. But you know how I check my shoulder meters? And for some reason, I think that maybe it's because the sun was out and all this other stuff. But for the most part, except there's a couple, but I mean, shoulders were down and people were feeling kind of light. So I think that's why I'm kind of buzzing right now. There was a few people that did have some things they needed to talk through that were of a more serious nature. But otherwise, yesterday it was kind of light and fluffy, and it felt good. So with the breath, with the neck, all that positive energy. That and a cup of coffee. We get to check in with the universe, or like I like to say, it's where the universe holds up a mirror and asks us, what do we see? And we get to use the tarot as that reflection. So what am I going to do then? I'm going to make our 3 stacks. Each one a different thread going out to the universe. It's like each one's a different thought or idea. And if we believe in a multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path, because this stack will lead down one path. This conversation's a totally different path from this one. And the question is, which thread do we want to pull? So for today, let's go right with the heart. Let's go with the center. So I'm going to do hour, 3, and 1. And I am going to flip each card over one at a time, like we're reading the pages of a book. And our first card, the 10 of Swords. Look at that. Oh my gosh, this guy's... So we think we're having a bad day. Look at this guy. He's actually got a sword coming out of his ear. That's a bad day. Or what I like to call this card is the I'm okay card. Because when you're feeling like this, and swords are our thoughts, our anxieties, and our thoughts, our ideas, and sometimes our anxiety. And so when we get a lot of swords, sometimes it's a lot of the stress of the world coming on. But here we are. And of course, somebody says, how you doing? And we give them that little sign right there that says, I'm okay. So this is just a recognition of stress and things that we carry around with ourselves. The lovely thing about the 10 of Swords is that 10 is just a 0 and a 1. We're getting ready to go through a cycle, or as I like to say, when we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, we'll try something else. So there is a positive aspect to when we're feeling those stressors of the day. And let's see what the next card is. The 3 of Swords. So again, thoughts, ideas, anxieties. 1 sword. That's a seed. That's a brand new idea. And 2, we're making choices. And again, 3, it's like sometimes the choices, we may not like our choices, or somebody does something like yesterday and it blocks my intuition and my thinking, and it's like I do something anyway. That's that 3rd sword. So sometimes when we're feeling anxious, sometimes we allow ourselves to be blocked, so we're not really making good decisions sometimes. So this is about just, and again, these are minor cards. So 10 of Swords looks tough, right? But the minors are just the day-to-day cards, and this is just a welcome to a Monday. It's not like the majors, which are the destiny cards, which this is just one of those things that says, oh, yep, we all have a stressor, and sometimes we just let those things get to us. But let's see what the next card is. Ooh, it's another sword card. And interesting, because this deck is not one that I have reversals in, but somehow or another some reversals snuck into this deck, and there are no coincidences, and everything's an omen. So we have a reversal. So let's take a look at the Justice card and compare that to all the other cards. Justice has a sword. Justice is not about laws and legal, it can be, but generally, what is justice? This justice is not blind. So justice is about seeing things clearly, seeing the facts, and weighing them without the vision of emotion. Justice's sword is standing upright, unlike a king who will let his opinions, help to influence their choices. Again, justice is about seeing things clearly and weighing the facts. But this is reversed. So yesterday was a great example. Yesterday, they went ahead, took somebody in front of me, made me wait longer, and I watched this person. I knew, I should just walk out. But instead, I let my thoughts, my ideas, and sometimes my anxieties get in my way, so I wasn't weighing things the way I normally would. So let's see what the advice card is. It's our second major. So again, this is just a bad phone call. This is somebody says something that disrupts us. This is we wanted to do one thing and somebody inserted a third sword and just made our day not as good as we wanted. Monday, can't trust the day. Monday morning, sometimes it just turns out that way, as Jenny has just put it, which is right. So this is just somebody pulled out in front of traffic, and it disrupts how we actually judge situations around ourselves. And what is the cure for that? If not the cure for the common cold, the cure for those feelings, we have we have the strength card. And the strength card is when we just kind of smile through it. Yeah, strength again. Strength card is when it's not how much we can pick up, how much weights we can do in the gym. It's that inner strength. It's that breath that we take in the morning. It's that calm. And strength is able to tame that lion just with that calm. So imagine if I had gone in there and the person had done that. And instead of feeling the emotions I did, which, what good was that? Because I'll never see them again. They'll never see me again. And I get to live with the talking about it the next day, right? Because it is a good example for me. If I had remembered and pulled the strength card that morning, because mind you, this was yesterday. I didn't do a reading. But if I pulled this card, I would have laughed. I would have just said, oh, that is hilarious. This card was perfect. I would have taken a breath and I probably would have walked out. So today, somebody pulls out in front of us in traffic. Somebody has a different idea than what we have. Somebody is doing something that would normally cloud our vision. If we remember the strength card, we can just smile and tame our own inner lion, our own inner beast, our own inner feelings. Shrug our shoulders and just say, you know what? I'm just going to walk away from this. And we don't need to carry it through for the rest of the day. So today, just as a good example, look for those things and thank somebody who gives us a lesson to think about what does strength mean. So today, if the boss says something or somebody else, I'm going to remember strength and I'm going to smile through it and say, okay, thanks universe. This is what the strength card really means. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing Monday, and I will be back here again tomorrow.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand. Whispers of fate, echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards around.